We are now both unmuted. And now, oh, you're up there. I just have to move it. There we go. Look at that.
That's a lot of delay.
Oh, I
Hi,
know.
hi everyone.
Let's see. Where does this look good? I think I need to shrink my camera. Hey, guys, look who it is on our stream. I feel like really famous now to have you here. That's what I'll do.
Why, you
There we
have
go.
more followers than I have.
Yeah, but I don't have like the world's coolest accent, and I don't always have chocolate milk, so I mean,
Coolest
between the
accent.
two.
It's like licking drywall, and my chocolate milk is indeed ready.
What? That glass and everything. Oh, I need to not squeal. I'm gonna hurt your ears. I was like, if I could go 2 hours without squealing, and then I've already failed. Gonna hurt your ears.
Simba is already complimenting me.
That is a really awesome glass. That thing is so huge. Do you always drink it out of
Uh,
a glass like that, or just for stream?
this was sold as a vase, not as a drinking glass.
Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna keep it here.
Also, I just gotta love that Simba's here and speaking Hungarian, and I can't understand a thing that he's saying. Okay.
Well, I do, so
You guys can like keep secrets from me. This is amazing. Okay, also, can we just say, like, this is the first time I have, like, I've seen pictures of you that you've posted in Discord, but this is the first time I've seen you on video, and I think only like the second time I've
that's
heard your
possible.
voice, right?
That's also possible.
I think so,
Yes,
which is
yes.
weird
It's,
because we've known each other for quite some time now, but this is just like legendary. I love it so much. Emo will translate. I don't know, will he? What's Simba saying?
uh, there's this part. Ki ez a jóképű ember? Who is this handsome man? And below that there is várjál, Imo, én is csinálok kakaót. I said the first word with an English accent. Várjál, Imo, én is csinálok kakaót. Wait, Imo, I'm making chocolate milk too.
That's amazing. I should have sent out a thing ahead of time for this testimony and told everybody to make chocolate milk. You know how normally I'm like, hey, everybody, make your tea. It's time for stream. It should have been everybody go make your chocolate milk in honor of Emo because it's time for stream.
Well, I have
You have
a
enough for
bit less than
everyone.
enough. A bit less than enough for myself, so.
A bit less than enough. You know what's so funny though? Like chocolate milk was always my favorite drink too. It's just so good. Okay, I think it's time. Do you want to go ahead and introduce
Yes,
yourself for anyone here
so
who
I
maybe
am.
doesn't know you? I'm so sorry. The delay.
Only the picture is delayed so much. Discord is almost instant. So I am Imo0226. You usually see me in a chat, in a lot of chats actually. I am a Hungarian, right now 24 years old. I've been Christian since I was 6,
Wow.
but you will learn about that in the remaining part of this stream. English is my second language. Probably you can tell that. I was also 6. No, I was 8 when I started learning English. Mastered it in the past 6 years, and I still speak it horribly.
No, your English is so good. I was literally thinking going into this, I was like, I know he's gonna have the most incredible accent. What if me being me, I can't understand his accent? I would feel so bad. But you are so clearly spoken.
I try my best. What else should I say? As my main job, I'm a full-time telecommunication technician. I work on internet cables in the Budapest.
Oh, that's so
Basically, I
cool.
make a living from fixing others' internet connection.
Wait, so you just settled that for me. Everyone debates on how you pronounce that place. Budapest is how you say it?
Yes,
A
kinda.
lot of people say it very different from
A
that, and
lot
there's
of
always
people
like
say
that
it
fight. How do you
horribly.
say it?
A lot of people say it horribly. Like Budapest.
Yeah, that's the one I hear all the time.
Uh, don't say that in Hungary. And there's one even worse, Budapest.
Buda? I've never heard that one.
I've heard that from Americans, actually.
Yeah, well, Americans aren't exactly amazing at pronouncing things. Even in our own language, we can't say things right.
Yeah, either,
Yeah, I say either. Which one do you say?
either.
You say either?
I use either. Yes.
Oh no. Well, guys, I think this testimony's not gonna work. We're using either and either. We're like not in agreement at all. Just kidding, just kidding. Oh, you do stream occasionally though. Do you want to share about
Uh,
that?
I I haven't streamed in a while. Actually, like almost a half year now. Uh, I usually stream music production because that's one of my hobbies, making uh, music. Mostly electronic genres like dubstep, all kinds of mixtures of house. I've experienced with future bass, hardstyle, rhythm, just to name a few. And currently in the background, I'm getting back to my favorite genre, symphonic death metal. For that,
Symphonic
I
death metal.
yes, death metal mixed with symphonic elements and instruments. Uh, for that very reason, I train my voice to basically I learn to how to scream.
It's amazing.
Uh,
I want to like hear you produce a whole album, like release it to the world, and then use
I
it for
will.
my intro outros.
Uh,
The
there's
famous
gonna be
emo.
a cover of the intro outro song,
I
so
can't wait for that. Like he's literally going to do a cover of it, guys, and it is going to be the coolest thing ever. I'm so excited for that.
sometimes I also stream games. Last time I've played Subnautica. Before that, I've had a Minecraft stream. I also had Portal streams.
Oh, Portal is so
Depends
fun.
on depends on my mood.
That's
And now
awesome.
I just realized that I mess a lot with my beard, so I hope you can bear
You
that.
you missed it? What do you
uh,
mean?
mess, like patting my beard
Oh, you mess with
and
it a lot. Honestly, I think it just adds to your intelligence level. Like you're like that smart guy of like,
uh,
yeah.
if I have a hoodie on, then I mess with the either that
The
what do you
strings,
call that thing? Either the strings or the
the zipper.
yes, that.
Yeah, I do the same thing. Honestly, I kind of feel like if somebody can wear a hoodie and not mess with the zipper or the strings, like they're like some kind of magical being because I don't know how you could do that.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for introducing yourself. And I know a lot of people here already know you because you are very, very present in the community, and it's been so cool having you. Do you want to go ahead and dive in?
Yes, I could. I should, and I want to.
It's
But
that moment.
first, I want to tell everyone, I want to encourage everyone, even if you have no date or a set time when you would tell your testimony,
Mhm.
make sure to write it down, because as I was taking notes of my own testimony, I realized two major things just yesterday and today, and really made my vision on God's work a lot better. So, yes, you should write your testimony even if you have no set date when you are going to tell that or share that.
That's really good encouragement. I love that. I never thought of that too, how like taking the time to write it out could be something powerful even in your own life.
It is.
That's awesome.
So, I want to jump right into it. My first, how to say it, connection, or the first time religion got into my life was when I was around 4. Uh, as I said on Tuesday, this country, was it Tuesday or Monday? Anyways, this country has had a huge impact from Catholicism. So if
Mm-hmm.
you drive around in this country, you will find crosses everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Crosses and crucifix, is that how you
Yeah.
pronounce it?
Yeah.
Uh, so we were walking around with the kindergarten group in this village where I live, just walking around, and we've stopped by one of these crucifixes, and the uh, is it a teacher?
Mm-hmm.
So the teacher asked who died here. The whole group said with a monotone voice, "Little Jesus." And I was, what? Who?
Aw.
We went, we walked by, and now this is the time when I just can't remember words. So we walked a few more minutes, stopped at another crucifix. The teacher asked again who died here. The whole group went with the same monotonic voice, "Little Jesus." And I was like, one guy, two different places? How did he do that? So that doesn't make sense. And this was my first time I met with religion,
Mm-hmm.
actual religion, not belief. Uh, so that kinda threw me off to become a Catholic, even though I had no clue what that was.
Mm-hmm.
When I was 6, my neighbors thought about an actual possible way of having a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. So my parents visited the church I'm still part of ever since.
Wow. You've been going to the same church since you were 6?
Yes.
That's amazing.
And my parents visited uh, the place, and when the pastor called for repentance, my parents did repent. And a few weeks after, they brought me there too. And since it's not a small group, we have around 300 to 400 people there
Wow.
every week. There are a lot of children there, and they make a lot of noise.
Your
So,
favorite. If I'm bad,
so,
imagine like those little kid voices.
so they always had a place where they could bring these children to keep them physically apart from the parents and the sermons, so they don't disrupt the whole event. And the first time when I was there, we were in a park in Gödöllő, that's a city in Hungary, beautiful city by the way. Uh, they started the whole thing with a prayer where the elders started praying and the children could join too after one another. And as I was listening, I just realized this today. It kind of felt right that this has to be happening.
Mm.
Like it's in the place, like a bed in a bedroom. Yes, Simba, there was a faith church in Gadaloo when I was little. So they were talking, but I saw them talking to actual someone and not just into the air.
Mm.
And it just felt right that
Mm-hmm.
this is normal. So I just stopped making noise and listened to them.
That's great.
uh, and since we've became part of the Faith Church, that's the name of the church, uh, I've got a lot of discrimination due to this and due to the way I was thinking in school. Like, that's the guy from the church.
Mm.
He's so stupid and worse
Aw.
stuff.
That's awful.
I've learned how to ignore those kind of insults when
Mm-hmm.
I was in third grade. So it was kind of early on when I became a tough one
Mm.
from insults coming from the outside. I still couldn't handle having insults from the inside, like close friends or even siblings.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like my chair is acting up again. Yes.
Isn't the timing on that the best when your chair breaks in the middle of a stream?
It's broken. It just sometimes it decides to let the all air out and it slowly mm,
Lowers? Yeah.
lowers me down.
Yeah.
Uh, Fast forward, I was 12. I was in this, let's just call it daycare because I have no better word for it. Uh, for some reason, I had a really hard headache, and one of the keepers or teachers told me to go inside, join the sermon. So I did. Um, Still during the worshipping part. And when the pastor called for repentance the newcomers, I felt that this calling is for me too.
Aww.
So I went forward in front of the whole church uh, in front of the stage. I saw my father up on the stage. He's a saxophone player. Uh, he had one of the most proud smiles ever
Oh,
when he noticed me standing in front of the stage waiting for the repentance prayer.
that is awesome.
So, yes, that's my son. And he decided to have a good life.
Yeah. I love that. I love that he was there for it.
I also joined the media group. I've became a cameraman. So I started standing behind cameras and showing people on the big TV. Uh, my next major milestone, uh, more of that, more of them on, uh, was when I was around 17. Uh, I've uh, I've got into sexual scenes
Mm.
Also, I've got into a relationship at the church's school because the church has a school.
That's interesting.
So I went to that high school because, well, it's the church's school, so I have a better protection from the outside world
Mm.
spiritually. Also, they teach the Bible there too,
Mm-hmm.
from pastors, by pastors from the church. Uh, so I've got into a relationship which started pretty alright, but it got more messy and messy, became really toxic. I'm not saying that I was a saint or something like that. I didn't do right things either. But a lot of times it happened that we've established a time that we are going to leave school together and do this and that. And she always said in the last time that she can do it because this and that. That was just a on the spot reasons, basically. Uh, this got me furious a lot of times. That's why I got into metal music, basically.
Hmm.
It let all my anger go away.
Right. You had an outlet.
Basically, yes, instead of wildly raging
Yeah.
and just listen to heavy music. I found a lot of really good Christian bands that actually uh, shares and spreads the gospel. Uh, that was the time when I started praying more frequently.
Mm.
And I want to bring you a verse. It's Matthew 4, 5 to 6. Does chapter verse work like this?
It normally
No.
does. It
It
probably.
did this
There we
way.
go. There we go.
So, this part of the Bible says that the devil took Jesus up onto the top of the temple in the saint city, or the holy city. And the devil told Jesus that if you're truly the Son of God, throw down yourself, and the
Mm.
angels will carry you. Basically, the devil quoted a part of the Bible to Jesus. Something similar happened to me.
Really?
I had a huge debate in myself about this relationship I was in because my emotions said that you should stick to this girl, but my mind and my every friend and my parents and the Bible teachers and pastors told me to leave this relationship.
Mm.
So as I was praying, uh, several verses came into my mind, and one of them was First Corinthians 11:11. I hope it works. Yes. Nevertheless, in the Lord, woman is not independent of man, nor man of woman.
Mm.
In the Lord. Uh, that told me to stay in the relationship. I did, and it almost destroyed me.
Wow.
So I realized this not too long ago that this was actually from the devil,
Right.
that he said to stay in the relationship.
Yeah.
This was yesterday that I realized this while I was writing
Wow.
down this um, while I was writing down my notes, because I felt that you shouldn't share this, at least not in the way that God said it, because He didn't.
That's
And I
crazy.
realized that
Wow.
that verse made me stay in the relationship, and that almost destroyed me. So it must be from the devil, even
Right.
though even though this verse is true.
Yeah. I what a good reminder though that the devil works in that way, right? That he can take something that God intended for good and he can twist it to use it for something bad, you know what I mean? Like
Yes,
and mess
exactly.
us up in that way.
And also, uh, it's important to mention Jeremiah 17:9. The heart is deceitful. I was
Mhm.
listening to my emotions, basically.
Right.
And yes, desperately sick. The verse says that too.
Mhm.
Uh, this time, my father also had a really an insanely uh, stressful job, which ended up making my relationship with him to be destroyed almost
Oh.
entirely. I was at the point that I even blocked his number because I
Wow.
just didn't want to talk with him. Um, there's going to be an upside of this later, so
Yay. So
keep in
hold
mind this.
on.
Uh, even though uh, the girl ended up breaking up with me, I still kept. I still wanted to hold on to this relationship desperately. Um, this was before the time I graduated from high school. I never can say that. High school. uh, in the, how to say it, main church. Basically, the center of the Faith Church. It's located in Budapest. This building can have like 10,000 people. It's that big,
Wow.
and it's always almost full.
Wow.
So the pastor, Sándor Német, held a sermon for the uh, students who are going to graduate in the next month. So I visited. As I was sitting on the train on my way there, I kept praying that God, please give me an answer what to do with this whole relationship. What should I do? And I got there, uh, got a nice seat, and Shandor started to talk about a an engaged couple that if the groom, is it called a groom?
Yeah.
Yes. So if the groom calls the bride to come eat a cake or come walk in the park or something like that, and the bride uh, tells stupid reasons to not go, then the groom is going to break up that engagement and look for another bride. And that, like this, brought up all the memories that um, my ex-girlfriend brought up stupid reasons in the last time to not do this and that.
Mm.
All of these memories popped into my head, and wow, this message is for me.
It feels like it's
This
just hitting
relationship
you.
has no way in my life.
Right.
And in that very moment, all my emotions disappeared towards that girl.
Wow.
Uh, Simba says that there were days when about 20,000 people were in that uh, building.
Wow. 20,000 in one
Yes,
place. That's crazy.
from all around the country.
Wow. That's really cool. That's incredible. I love when there's a message that you're like, God is directing this at me.
Uh,
That's great.
I successfully ended this relationship within myself because the
Mm.
relationship was ended a month before that happened. Uh, but I still wanted to be loved and still wanted to love someone.
Mm.
And that was kind of the same time when a friend in school uh, told me that she has a huge crush on me. And I just escaped into that relationship
Mm.
without thinking, which eventually let me do more sexual scenes, which I'm not proud of.
Mm.
But I got forgiveness for them.
Mm.
Um, this relationship led me to abandon the relationship with God and with the church. I also started studies in university, which ended up messing up my sleep schedule, which also led me to abandon church,
Wow.
attending church. Uh, right about when I started the university, I started praying for my lung health. Um, I just realized that I skipped this part from my notes. I had asthma, and I woke up during the night several times, choking and suffocating. It
Wow.
was just pure horror.
Ugh.
So I was praying to God that please heal my lungs, remove
Right.
this issue from my body, and cheers. And as I was praying, I suddenly stopped, and words came out of my mouth. I was conscious the whole time. I heard the words. I understood those words, but these words weren't mine. I didn't say it with my consciousness. It just came out. And these words were, if I share the gospel, I'm going to be healed.
Oh.
And I was like, what? What was that? And the spirit told me it was me.
You're like,
Um,
oh, this is why my lungs, because I need to use them for. Oh.
and sure
Wow.
thing, in the university, I met a guy who had this weird ticking or spasms and stuff,
Mm.
especially if he was nervous.
Mm.
Uh, After an exam, I told him, hey, I want to talk with you outside. I'm gonna be waiting for you. This sounds like a threat, I know,
It sounds like.
but
Oh
he was
no.
like, alright. And I was waiting for him. He joined me, and I asked about this issue he had. He told me that yes, he has a weird dysfunctionality with his brain.
Yeah.
He met like American, uh, Italian, Spanish, and a lot of uh, doctors around the world, and they could heal him by splitting his brain into 8 different pieces,
Ooh.
and that's a probable cure, not a
Mm.
sure one.
Mm.
So, yes, you spoke with them, but you haven't spoken with one specific, and that is Jesus Christ. And I told him my testimony, which
Mm.
he listened to very carefully, patiently. Even his girlfriend was listening.
Wow.
It was so great to see them accepting those words.
Yeah.
Uh, I hope his life has been changed ever since, because we haven't kept in touch ever since. And the next summer at my job, I got at a keep forgetting words. Mm, and this is the most stupid word. Storage. Warehouse.
A warehouse.
I
I
was
mean, how often do you use the word warehouse though?
not too often.
So.
So I was working at a warehouse, and I shared my testimony there too. And it's been 6 years since then. I've never had any asthma attacks ever since.
Wow. So
So those words that came out of my mouth became truth.
that is amazing. Okay, I love that too because some people will say like they'll doubt an experience like that, right? Like they'll be like, "No, that didn't really happen. God didn't really say that to you." But then like when you see a fulfillment of like exactly what it was and then you
Yeah,
have that healing, it's
yes.
like, "Oh, well, that's amazing."
Uh, so I left university. I left my job because I was overwhelmed physically. I was 19 when I went back to church. I started attending it again. Uh, which also led me to work at the new building of our local church. Basically, we've bought an old building and started renovating it. Now it's a boy college, a kindergarten or daycare, and a gym. Uh, 3 stories.
That is awesome.
I was working there first doing wallpapers, and then I was working with concrete on the lowest level. This exhausted me physically, but also this was the time when I was part of a larger Hungarian Minecraft server, and they saw my uh, helpfulness towards new players, so they made me part of the staff team, which led me to become a developer. And while I was breaking and carrying and mixing concrete, I was constantly thinking about new ideas, and if I got an idea, how could I make that to reality? And after I arrived home, I was dealing with all the issues the players had for like 3 or 4 more hours after 10 hours of work, which exhausted me mentally. I could do this for 3 weeks. Then my body said, okay, it's enough. You are sicker than your 90 years old great grandma. Stop it,
Oh,
please.
that's bad.
So, uh, I left the group. Well, I told them I am going to take a break, and they fired me, basically. Also
Wow.
banned me from the server because they thought I am going to be destroying that server. It almost happened with others,
Hmm.
so it was a precautious action from the owner.
Hmm.
Uh, so I was insanely exhausted, both physically and mentally, to the point that every day I woke up, I had nausea, weakness, shivering, dizziness
Wow.
till the middle of the day. And after lunch, I started to feel good, and then the next day it all started all over again. And it was a few months ago, I think it was in April or May, that I realized my short-term memory is messing up since
Hmm.
that happened. Like in my job, I need to work with 6 or 8 characters long codes, basically the IDs of certain network objects. And I was like watching looking at a browser tab on my phone. Okay, 08 age 026. I switched the tab and I forgot everything.
Wow.
Meanwhile, I was changing the tab, and as I realized this, that since that um, exhaustion happened, my brain is keep doing this. I pray to God that, please God, heal my brain, heal my memory, and remove everything that causes this issue with my
Hmm.
memory. The very next day, I read this ID, and I couldn't forget this ID until we finished the job on that object.
Wow.
So the amount of healing and the time it took is just insane.
Hmm.
And it was just a prayer. I wasn't fasting. I wasn't doing rituals, so-called rituals. It was just one prayer, and it changed my brain significantly. So much that my short-term memory is way better than it was before those events.
Wow.
I can safely say that.
That must have really grown your faith.
It did.
Because I would be like, whoa. That's awesome.
Uh, so back in when I was 19, I was 20 already. Uh, the pastor was calling the newcomers for repentance. Uh, and I was like, I was standing on in my place, and I was like, I need this.
Mm.
I have to do this. And I put a balance in front of me that I go forward in front of the whole church, at least 300 people, from which 200 know me by my name, from
Wow.
which 150 know me well, and 100 saw me grow up.
Oh.
Or I could stay in my place and uh, tell this prayer here. And I was kind of fighting with myself and I just took a little bit of weight off from the part where I wanted to stay on my place. So I was a little bit considering going in front of the whole church. And my legs were like, alright, we're going. And I was like, there, in no time. Basically, the spirit pushed me
Yeah,
forward
it's
in
like,
front of the
no,
whole church.
you're going.
And so I told this repentance prayer the next day at the daycare building. One of my friends, a fellow believer, uh, told me that what you did there yesterday was great. Uh, I would say that you're king, but I won't because Jesus Christ is the only king. So I'm just saying it was great.
It was great. I love that.
uh, a few weeks later, during the worship part, uh, now this is a tough word for me. Uh, Demons were casted out from my body. They just started leaving my body during I was singing. I fell down onto the ground. I started loudly roaring uh, as the demons tried to hold me. They didn't want to let me go. So, of course, that struggle is audible, which almost blew my voice. But I was a lot more free, and a lot of burden fell off my shoulders. So the outcome was amazing. But since my voice almost blew up, the very next day I completely lost my voice.
Oh.
In the morning I had a funny voice, but I still could talk. In the middle of the day I completely lost it. I could just whisper, but even that was a bit painful. This was a Monday, and the very next day I was digging a hole for this big pillar for floodlights. And as I was digging, I had a feeling that this isn't a physical issue. This is a spiritual issue. So I started praying that God, heal my voice, and in the name of Jesus Christ, I tell you the spirit of muteness, is it the word?
Mm-hmm.
Spirit of silence, leave my throat. And I started praying in tongues after that. And the other guy who was digging another hole asked me something, and I shouted back the answer, and I was like, I have a voice.
Yeah.
I didn't have any voice 2 minutes ago.
But it was like instinct, right? To like shout
And
back. It was just like you didn't even think about it, right? It's just like.
and and the guy was looking at me all surprised but all glad, and yes, hallelujah, my voice is back.
Hallelujah. That's amazing.
And he praised the Lord with me in that very moment. So it was really great to see God. It was great to see that God can work in the very instant too. Then COVID happened.
Everybody loved that couple of years.
Basically. So there were no physical attendance of church,
Right.
and I didn't like anything online.
Mm.
So I kinda abandoned uh, church, but didn't left faith
Mm.
as I did when I first kinda abandoned church. And after this quarantine was removed, so physical attendances can could happen again. I was still living with my parents back then. My father asked me, "Tomorrow we are going. Do you come?" I said yes, without thinking, and I went there. And as I was walking to the entrance in the is it patio? A bit elevated part in front of the entrance. Uh, some of my friends were sitting there, and I heard this surprised but glad voice asking, "Is that really Mate?" Mate is my real name. The English equivalent is Matthew. uh, which uh, made me realize that these guys do love me.
Aw.
So I'm not coming into a church for a. Uh, I'm not going into just a church to do just a sermon. I'm coming home to my family.
Aw. That's the best. It's like a
So
movie ending. It's so good.
uh, during the lockdown, I was, as I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, I was streaming a lot of music production. I was browsing music category, and I found a smaller channel. You've met her, we've rated her, Angel, I think you remember
She's
her.
so nice. I loved that so much. That was
Uh,
the best.
I've I found her. Uh, she was singing. Uh, Basically, she was making her own music, and it was great to see others in the process. And I checked her Instagram, and I asked her, "Hey, there's a lot of quotes in your Instagram from the Bible. What's that?" And she told me that, "Well, I'm a Christian, so that's why." uh, and in her community, I found a great friend who showed me two different communities on Discord. One is Blessing Boat. Uh, she told me that she's going to attend it. It was in January. This is basically an event for Christian streamers. When 8 streamers get into a stream, one starts, raise the next, and that raise the next, and basically a raid train happens uh, through 8 streamers, which boosts viewers a lot. And the other yeah, I can't English. The other community was Garden Gaming and Discord community for Christian gamers. And both in Blessing Boat and both in Garden Gaming, I found amazing Christian friends. Just to name a few, in the Blessing Boat, I've met with Joey, Turtle. Is it? Is he Turtle Gaming? Tortoise Gaming. Almost the same. And I found a Trumpet there too, or Trumpet as you call
Wait,
him.
what? You met
Yes,
Trinity through that? I didn't
Yes.
know that. That's amazing.
See, chat.
Yeah, he
He can
remembers.
confirm
That's
me.
great.
Uh, in the Garden Gaming community, I found Stephanie, Assassinator Steph. I think some of you know her. She's a great Christian friend too. And as I was part of these two communities, and through raids, I've found so many channels, and I think that's how I ended up here too.
I think so. Aw.
And maybe it was Tortoise who showed me Pastor Dustin,
Mm.
a youth pastor who also streams here on Twitch. Uh, I found him, and he was doing Bible studies on a stream, and as I was listening, I don't remember what was the topic, but as I was listening, I realized that this guy tells the same exact message as my pastor.
Wow.
They don't know each other. Probably there's a huge link if I want to see connections between them,
Mhm.
other than me. uh, but as I was thinking about this, that Dustin and my pastor shares the same message, except Dustin is a more gentle kind. Like I would describe it as, hey, you said your problem is this. Uh, you might want to consider this and take it into thinking, and you can change your life by this. I mean, your life can be changed by God. And my pastor is more like, you have a problem, this is the solution, it's up to you.
Hey, let's just
So,
say there's a place for both, right?
so my pastor is a bit more direct and a bit more, well, some would say that rude.
Hmm.
I just say he's honest.
Honest, brutally honest.
uh, but they share the same message. That can be a coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
That reason can only be that God is real and the Bible is truth.
Mm-hmm.
And this cannot be any other way, which made my faith jump up so high.
Right.
uh, and another thing that is important, that after the lockdown was removed, both me and my parents started attending church regularly and more, and taking the word of God more seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw and see it in my father's eyes that it that this more serious relationship with Christ changed him significantly. He's changed so much that from back when I couldn't talk with him, couldn't be in the same room with him, now I can say that he's one of my besties.
Aw, that's the
So
best. I love that.
we joke with each other a lot. We help each other a lot, and not because he's my father and I am his son, but because we love each other and care about each other. So a personal relationship can change people and relationships too.
Mm-hmm.
in a very, very good way. So, yes, if you have trouble with any of your parents or relatives, bring them to Jesus, and your relationship is going to be changed too.
Absolutely.
And it was last year, July, when I finally moved out from my parents. I rent an apartment now. Since then, if I want to go to church, I have to get up, get ready, get into my own car, drive there, and attend it by myself. Before that, it was like, hey, are you coming?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm coming, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And I can imagine God doing like, hey, you like me? Here's a blessing. Here's a blessing. Here's a blessing. Hey, do you see this guy? He's getting into his own car and go to church by his own. Here's my blessing. So, because I work for being in church, I do things to be in church other than get some clothes on. Uh, God saw this courage and more work that I want to put into this relationship, and He's been changing me so much ever since, and He gave me so much blessing ever since. I can't even list. My spiritual life and growth is significant in the past 1.5 years because I am attending church by my own and not by my parents. Uh, and another thing that is important is that I've abandoned church 2 times.
Chocolate milk break. Gotta have it.
Yeah, they realized that I'm not really part of the media group anymore. So I had to rejoin, basically. And the pastor told us at one point that we have a bunch of cassettes. Some of y'all might not know what VHS is.
Oh, that thought makes me sad. But it's true.
Basically, these big black boxes with actual magnetic tape inside that stored video and audio. And this technology predates CDs. And there might be some folks who don't know what CDs are.
It's so true.
And my pastor told us that these cassettes need to be digitized. Otherwise, uh, the quality can just disappear and the cassettes can get ruined by just standing still. So, alright, I'm doing it. I told him, so I messed with this setup because no one did that before, so it was a new thing to learn how to work with capture cards. So I was messing with all the settings to get the best quality, uh, and I've started digitizing, and this isn't like I put in the cassette, I start recording and go somewhere else, do my own stuff, because these cassettes can have issues. that needs to be uh, not reported. I apologize for my uh, vocabulary. These issues have to be recorded basically into a data sheet. Also, because my pastor wants to make an archive, an accessible archive by search algorithms as a local archive, these recordings need to be uh, marked with the topic that is on these recordings. These recordings are mostly older uh, uh, sermons, and some of those cassettes are older than me, which is crazy to think that this cassette has been here longer than I am on this earth. And as I put in the cassette into the machine, and because I have to watch and listen to the whole thing,
Mm-hmm.
I see that in the past 25 years, how much my church changed,
Wow.
how much people changed, but the message of God still remains the same. It
Oh,
does not change.
right.
And I was watching one of these recordings and I was thinking that he just said that 2 weeks ago.
That's a good thing though, right? Like, wait, the message is the same. He hasn't been changing it to keep people here.
Yes, that is a really important part of the whole thing too. It grew up my faith a lot.
Mm.
Uh, and seeing that, how many things have changed, uh, but the word does not change at all,
Mm.
showed me really that the only thing that we can actually trust is God and His
Mm.
word, and nothing else.
Mm.
Like, the first recordings I saw, by first recording I mean it was recorded earlier than the rest I saw. So basically, the oldest recording I saw was recorded in a place that was rented, and the pastor was talking about we've just bought a new building, and next week we are going to be there. And I saw uh, the first stage of the, or the first phase basically of the church building, which is also a memory because my first time being there was still in that old version of that building.
Right.
Uh, that was in 2005 when my parents joined the church. I was there the next week. We had to rent another place because the members started renovating that building. Um, Purchasing that building happened in 1999, I think.
Mm.
It was an old brewery. Uh, so I then saw a new face of the church building, looked really cool. And during the COVID, my pastor decided that, okay, this building needs another renovation, which meant uh, changing the wall colors, changing every technology.
Mm.
So all the lights and cameras and audio equipment and all sorts of things have been replaced to brand new machines. So I saw a third version of that building, and this also made me realize that if we truly believe in God and we work in that matter and we have faith in Him, we trust Him, we believe in Him, uh, He's going to do a lot of work in us too. And seeing that this church is here for like at least 25 years, I think it's like 30 something years. Uh, many people had their faith kept in God, and the amount of work God has done in the church is insane. Like, how many new people are here that I see people on those old recordings being children, and now those guys have their own children.
Right. That's amazing to like see them back then, like, wow, look at how young they were.
I
That's so
found a
crazy.
recording yeah, where I was 9. Yes, I was 9, and oh, that's me.
That is
How
so
cute he is.
crazy. To like see it. Wait, I'm in this. That's amazing.
And there was one that, wait, I remember that. I remember doing this. It was a cool thing. So this also made a huge boost to my faith that these people kept their faith in Jesus Christ, and the one and only God showed us that He truly lives, and whoever works for Him in His name is going to be blessed a lot. Simba majd egyszer elküldöm. uh, that I had so many moments which made me realize that yes, this is a living God, a true living God, helping a holy God that we are praising and love. And I just cannot, I just had to accept it. I had to stop thinking about it. I had to accept it because God cannot be described how great He is, how awesome He is. And this made, these many realizations made my faith jump up so high that yes, the reason we are fighting for is worth fighting for. And also, uh, this is now a close past event. I Twitch decided to suggest me more and more channels. Like maybe some of you know the God Squad Church
Mm.
community. I saw a bunch of pastors there too, and I saw Catherine there too, Mama Cat,
Oh yeah,
uh,
I love.
Joey, and a bunch of, and even Pastor Dustin and a bunch of guys that I knew years before that. And
Mm.
hold on a second. There's an insane network of people on Twitch and Discord who are true believers, and they worship the very same God as I do, the only living holy God.
Mhm.
And that's my testimony. I kept it
So
1 hour.
good. I can't. I was thinking like it seemed like you were wrapping up, and I was like, are we gonna? There's no way we're gonna hit an hour. That is so amazing. I love that so much. Just like the healings that you've experienced in your life are so amazing, and just like the faithfulness of God. And I think just also like that illustration that like God really is willing to forgive us, right? Like if we've gone and we've left his side and we've done some crazy stuff, sometimes like we put ourselves in a penalty box of like, oh, I
Um,
can't go back to him. And then
it's
like
good. It's good that you mentioned this forgiveness, because I
mhm.
left this part out for some reason, and I think that's because I didn't take it into my notes. Yes, I cannot find it. So,
There we go.
uh, back when I left that Minecraft community and went in front of the people, as I was thinking about this stuff, that walking in front of all these people, from which many knows me, know me, I don't know. What are they going to think about me that I go out and I openly accept Jesus Christ? What would they think? What would they think? What would they think? I tell you what would they think. They will think that you are brave
Mhm.
and you are willing to change your life.
Mhm.
And after the lockdown was removed, I felt shortly after that, yes, I need another repentance. And my pastor was all surprised. You? How? You truly need this? He just couldn't believe it. And I just nodded my head. And he went forward with what he was doing, singing. uh, it's just truly wonderful that even though I abandoned the relationship with God 2 times, as I walked in front of the whole church, he wasn't blaming me. He wasn't holding my sins against me. He wasn't asking, where were you? What were you doing? He just said that finally you are here.
Mhm.
And that insane, insanely large love that I felt filling me is just truly wonderful. That even though I left him 2 times, especially 2 times, and did crazy stuff, he is willing to forgive if I repent. And I'm on the edge of crying right now. I just still can't understand how much he loves us,
Mm-hmm.
how much he loves everyone. And no matter what you've did, what you've done, no matter what your circumstances are, he is willing to forgive you and accept you back. And this does not mean that you are free to sin, of course,
Mm-hmm.
uh, but that was just great to personally uh, experience that much love. Like, he knows it well that I did wrong. But still, what's important for him is that I'm with him again.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to be with him again. And this love boosted my faith even more than those healing moments, which each of them individually was were amazing to experience that just by asking he is willing to do if I am willing to do.
You're gonna make me cry.
Thank you.
I can't talk after that. This is really moving. That message is so valuable, though, and I'm so glad that you shared that because I really do think that people who possibly, grew up in the church and walked away from it and, pursued another lifestyle, like they really feel like they can't go back. Like I know people who say that, like, no, I couldn't go back. Like God would never accept me because I went and I did this and this and this. I'm like, no, like that's what the devil wants you to think, that God's arms aren't open wide, but like they are, and you can run straight to him. He wants you so badly. So beautiful. I love that
Uh,
illustration of that.
and just a moment. Evidence. Uh, that was the word I was looking for. Another evidence that if God promises something, He's going to keep it, no matter what. Is my healing from asthma.
Mm-hmm.
That when I was praying for my lungs to heal, I wasn't really living a biblical life.
Mm-hmm.
And shortly after, I even left church. Uh, Not left, I abandoned it. Uh, he promised me that if I share the gospel, he is going to heal me. And because I did did share the gospel, he healed me. Not because I was that saint or doing rituals or attending church. He healed me because he promised me.
Mm-hmm. That's so
Színben majd
good.
a vadot visszanézed, és akkor tanulhatsz belőle.
I had a moment you for just a second there. I was like, I can't tell what he's saying, and then I realized you were speaking Hungarian. I feel so bad. I really couldn't make that one out. Like, no wonder I couldn't. Oh, that's so good though. That's so amazing. And I love that note too because, right, sometimes we can get caught up and confused in that, but like it isn't because of our own actions, because he is faithful and he holds true to his promises.
Yes, exactly.
That's awesome.
Uh, you've asked me about perspectives the other day.
Yeah.
That uh, usually you speak with Americans, your physically closer friends, uh, but not that much with people from around the globe. Uh, I see that the message is almost the same. I say
Mm-hmm.
almost because I saw many pastors and churches taking the Bible a bit too liberal.
Yep.
And by that I mean the big support of the LGBTQ
Mm-hmm.
community.
Mm-hmm.
We accept them as human beings, we love them as human beings, but we do not accept what they do.
Mm-hmm.
But seeing some churches supporting them, it feels really wrong. And because it's wrong. The other thing that I would like to mention are tattoos. Uh, I believe that tattoos are not great at all. Um, I don't know if you know how a tattoo making works. Basically creates tiny wounds in the skin,
Mm-hmm.
and you're basically damaging on purpose
Mm-hmm.
the temple of the Holy Spirit. And that's not good.
It's so funny that you bring this up because I literally had this conversation with someone yesterday. They were like, "Wait, why do you think this about tattoos?" And I was like, like you're like damaging yourself, like you're hurting yourself, like and I said the same thing. I said our bodies are God's temple. You know what I mean? It's that's something to be well taken care of and to be stewarded well. So that's really interesting. And so is that a big difference between the churches in Hungary and the churches of America? That like maybe the churches in America are a lot more lenient toward certain things?
They are a lot more open to certain things that we do not accept.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't talk in the name of all Hungarian churches because there are
Right.
a lot of denominations. But most of the churches here do not accept tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
And the stuff that LGBTQ
Mm-hmm.
community does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I like what you said earlier. Fluffy pointed it out in chat too about the difference
Yes,
between love and acceptance, right? That like you can truly love somebody no matter what their actions are, but it doesn't mean that you have to accept certain behavior or actions that don't align with
exactly.
scripture. Which I think is a common thing right now is that we equate, like, we think love and acceptance are the same thing. Like, if you love somebody,
They
then
are
you're
not.
gonna like support everything that they do. But yeah.
Uh, Even we make difference between the word love and like.
Hmm.
So, meanwhile, love also can mean two different words, depends on the context, but by generally speaking, love in Hungarian is szeret. Like, he, she loves, ő szeret. Uh, we don't have gender specific pronouns. Meanwhile, English uses he or she.
Hmm.
Hungarian uses only one sound, ö,
So interesting.
and we write like this. Just one letter.
Ooh,
Uh,
ooh, I can't say it.
ö.
Ugh.
It's like bird, without the rest of the sounds. Uh, and then grammar comes, and the word szeret becomes different in the context of who loves who. So if I love you, that's szeretlek. You can specify that I szeretlek, love, téged, you. But if I want to say that I love her, I would say szeretem.
Gotcha.
Or szeretem őt. If I want to be a bit more specific. So the word change is based on who loves and whom.
This is like what Kim mentioned earlier about Hungarian grammar. I'm sitting here like, what?
It is insane.
Like, I'm so confused right now.
But if you love me, that's szeretsz. Or if I want to be more specific, te, you, szeretsz, love, engem, me. But if you love her, akkor szereted.
I feel like I half understand this and I'm still sitting here half confused. So it's like,
There are... How many? I don't want to say something stupid, but it's either 17 or 19 grammatical cases. Plus the plural forms.
what in the world? I struggle with English. So, wait, oh no, I can't even say the word. It's like, it's the one, like, in the general sense, is that like just the person you're talking to, or does that mean like you all?
The general word szeret means that she loves me or you.
Okay.
We use that in that context.
So how would you tell somebody that like Jesus loves them?
Jézus szeret téged. Yes, we spell Jesus like that.
How do you say it in your language? Jesus.
Jézus.
Jésus.
Jézus.
I don't know how to make that sound.
Z.
Z.
Bees.
Z.
Like if you have a lot of bees.
So it's yay.
You're getting there.
Jesus.
Kinda.
Hello, Sage.
The S letter is.
Okay.
We say this letter as sh, but if we want to write down the s sound, we write like that, this, but don't mix those letters up because you get j.
Oh, okay. So the Z makes the Z sound.
No, the
No.
Z makes the z sound.
Z sound, and the S makes the
Sound.
Sound.
That, and I'm switching to Hungarian so easily. So it's Jézus.
Jesus.
I looked up that.
Kind of. Like, if I said that to a Hungarian person, would they be able to tell who I was talking about?
They would get it, but they would also realize that Hungarian is not your native language.
Okay, as long as they could like understand, like, okay, that's what she's trying to say.
They will understand it.
Okay. I know. I feel like I should do like whole like Hungarian lessons on stream because it would be so funny for everybody to be like, what? Essentially, Simba here, he's probably like, uh. Wait, I have you here, Emo, and you can tell me, am I saying Simba's name right then? Because he has SZ.
That's
Okay, so it is just
that's right.
like, okay,
Simba.
all right, that makes sense. What? I'm so confused because, like, in English, like, why, if the S makes
Uh,
that sound alone, why do you have the Z?
you would try to. I get that. But we, as we learn English, we are confused by English spelling too. So, like,
Yeah.
if you write this down, like to type, we would say this as United States of America.
What? That's like
United
how.
States of America. That's how
What?
we would read it if we didn't know English.
That is so crazy that like your letters work that differently.
Uh, each letter uh, marks a specific sound.
Okay.
So, meanwhile, you write down this word, Pacific Ocean.
Right.
There are three C's in the two words. Each C is pronounced differently. That's not going to happen in Hungarian.
I never thought of that, that every C is different. Because I'm so
Uh,
used to it, I just don't even think about how weird that would be for somebody else.
there are things that can change the sound of the C letter, which we pronounce as ts. It's like a TS after each other, but compressed into one another so hard. It's not ts, it's ts. So maybe you can notice as I speak that when I try to shorten this word into this,
It is. It's.
no, like, and that's too much there. uh, so I won't say it's. I would say most of the time it. It's a very similar sound, but we have a different letter for that. Um,
My mind is so blown right now.
so basically, he is playing since the is it the since the subject is kinda inside the verb, the subject can be left out if we do not specify the subject. Uh, he or she is playing can be written like this: játszik or ő játszik.
How does that
That
say that full sentence? That's so small.
that's the
I don't understand.
magic of the language.
There's not enough there to have that much in
So
it.
játszik. I could go with the whole grammatical part of this because it comes from the word toy, játék. So if I play in játszok. If you play, te játszol. He or she plays, játszik. I've showed that. If we play, that's játszunk. If you as plural, that's játszatok. And they play, that's játszanak.
How do you remember all these variations of words? Like it's the same word with just a different word added at the end.
Called appendixes. I hope I pronounced that right.
Yeah.
Not right, right.
Wait, your alphabet is really that long?
Yes.
Do you have to
But
memorize that as a little kid and like sing it in a song format?
we don't have a song for that. But we
That
have to
kind of it
memorize
makes sense to me that you don't have a song because how would you put that to a
Uh,
song? There's another heavy metal screamo song idea for you. The ABCs
That
in
was the
Hungarian.
thing I was just thinking about. So what I wanted to say you see that TSZ3 keep forgetting the name of that. Consonants?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, consonants. So you all know that S and Z creates a S sound, but T and S in the Hungarian language, spoken language, they can merge together. And if we talk really slowly, then we are going to say that játszik. But if we talk faster and faster, those two sounds are going to merge into one another, creating the t sound, like a hi-hat.
It does
Játszik,
actually. It
játszik,
sounds like a
játszik,
hi
játszik.
hat. You're right. I can't even make that sound. It literally sounds like a hi hat.
And if you're write an S after this letter, that's gonna be a ch sound like in church.
From a C and an S?
Yes.
How does that make a ch sound?
Take it as a try to pronounce it slowly and go faster and faster like
Oh, okay. I guess that kind of makes sense.
So there are letters that merge together like the ch sound, I just written that, the z sound, the j sound, s and j. And there are other compound letters with a lot of y's, like there's a D. I don't know why I picked this specific letter because this one doesn't have any. So pick the letter G. We pronounce it as a G, like
Okay.
in God.
Yeah.
And if you put a Y next to it, this is a sound most American accents don't have. Like I've found an artist guy on Twitch with Hungarian origins but was raised and grew up in America, and he just don't know how to properly pronounce his own surname
Whoa.
because his surname is this, and he always say Silagi, but that's not the proper pronunciation. That GY letter is J.
G.
J.
J.
in between the in between those two. That not g, not j. Try to say it as merging together the d sound and the y sound. D, 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 d,
Dieu.
d.
Dieu. What? That is so hard to say. This sound doesn't even exist in America. What?
That's what I.
This is like, okay, you know how like people will ask that question, they'll be like, can you imagine a color that doesn't exist? That is how I feel right now. It's like, how do I imagine a sound that
Um,
doesn't exist?
there are sounds in the English language that don't exist in the Hungarian, like the th, like in with or thinking thing. Okay, some will pronounce it with a hard s sound like think or this. That just threw me out. Or others would uh, pronounce it with a T, like think. I'm thinking.
Oh, yeah.
What? Uh, uh, the way I learned that compound sound or compound letter, how to pronounce it, is that take this sound s and pronounce it if you had lisp, like and all right, that's thinking then, and with okay, I've got it.
This is blowing my mind right now. Like, I don't know.
uh,
Like,
the
oh.
other sound, which I don't know if it's really a consonant or a vowel, is the W, like what or why. That's a w sound.
Mm.
Many Hungarians pronounce it as a regular v.
Oh, yeah, like vi instead of y.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I had to learn that and practice that sound, that it's not y, it's y.
Wait, so the W is hard for Hungarians to
Uh,
learn?
it's not hard. It doesn't exist in Hungarian. It's easy
That's
to learn, but it
interesting.
doesn't exist.
That sounds okay. It blows my mind just how there are different languages and how different they all are. Like it's so complicated.
Uh, I can show you more uh, compound words, letters like the ty. It's almost like a j, but without using your vocal cords. It's a j.
I
You
How do you make
do
a
the same
sound
thing as
without
with
using
the
your
j, just without using your vocal cords. If you we organize these consonants into two major groups, one with where you use your vocal cords and one when you don't. Like when you use it's z and a j, and when you don't use it, it's a s and a sh. Like you can mess with it. Sh, s. You
How do
just
you do
activated
that?
your vocal cords.
I can't just choose not to use my vocal cords. I don't know how you're doing
Uh,
that.
and that's the same thing with this ch sound.
I my mind.
And uh, there's one weird thing you've noticed in the word Jesus, that we say this J as y,
Yeah, yeah.
but the ly is y too. And in written language, they are different. In spoken language, they are not anymore. They used to be different. and not many people can notice it. Like, one is y, the other is y, 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 y. Once my tongue is a bit more forward and the other is a bit backwards. Even I can't really distinguish the two, just barely.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like I can't tell them apart, but I also don't have a trained
So
ear for it.
this difference has died out a lot of years ago.
That's so interesting.
uh, uh, there's this compound letter, which is easy. Nya, like in new.
Nya.
Like in new. Yes, nya.
Nya.
When you say New York, new, nya, nya.
Nya. Nya. Am I getting it? Nya.
Yes.
Finally, something I can say. It's the first one.
Now I'm going to drop you into the deep water with these two vowels. If you can see the difference.
Okay, yeah.
U.
Ooh.
Oh, you're pretty close.
That was good.
So,
Okay.
the reason you see two is that because we distinguish short and long vowels.
What's it
One is
called? Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
vowel.
Oh, wow.
A, E, I,
Oh, okay.
U,
A
sometimes
vowel.
I.
Yeah.
Vowel. So it's with the two dots, it's U. With the two commas, it's U.
So, or no, and I can't even do the short one. How do you do that?
U,
And,
U.
my short is always long. I can't do that. How do you cut it off? And
Simba, van olyan szavunk, amiben mind a kettő betűt használjuk? This was a question for Simba.
It's like, I can't. This is so hard.
So, same rule goes with the U and U, O and O, Ö and Ö.
Okay.
Now that's a tricky word Simba wrote, gyönyörű.
Jinuru.
Also, this rule applies to I and E.
E and E?
Yes.
Wait, what am I? What does that mean? Am I
That's
being
gonna remain a
insulted?
mystery.
No! What are you calling me? Oh no.
It means beautiful or wonderful.
Aw, that's great. There's a word for that in
Or
Elvish. It's Vanima.
or handsome.
Oh, I'll take it all. Handsome, why not?
But this accent rule doesn't apply to these two letters and these two letters because it doesn't just change the length of the vowel but also the way you pronounce it. Like the first one is O, A. The second one is E. And you do not want to mix those up because vereb is sparrow but Vereb is Bloodhound.
Oh no! That's very
Uh,
different.
the Vereb is actually a compound word uh, made from Ver and Ab.
That's so interesting how, like, to me, it looks like such a small change that it would be either the
Uh,
same thing or something close to it.
I misspelled it. it. It's supposed to be Vereb, not Vereb.
That is so crazy.
Just to make it clear.
That'll be the one that sticks with me. And then I'll meet somebody Hungarian and I'll be like, oh, I know this Hungarian word. And they'll be like, that is not a word.
Uh, and on our keyboards, we have specific letters for these letters.
Oh, that's so cool. That is so crazy. Yeah, I don't have that. My it's just plain old alphabet.
Characters.
Yep. Wow. Well, okay. Oh, I had a question that I was gonna ask that just
Yes,
reminded me of it. Like, about like different languages and stuff. Do you like in Hungary? Do you have a lot of different Bible translations?
I know three of those. There's one which is commonly used is the uh, translation done by Gáspár Károly. Uh, this name is going to throw you off because you're gonna see a színben nem Y-nal van írva a vezeték neve? Y-vel van? I don't remember. Nem lényegtelen, hát magyarok vagyunk.
Every time you say something in Hungarian, I think it's English and I'm not understanding, and then my brain registers that you're not speaking English.
Oh, neither of those, says Wikipedia. So, Gáspár Károly made a translation. If I know this right, he translated the Bible from the uh, German version
Okay.
a long time ago, uh, which was in the 1500s. So like 500 years ago, and it is noticeable because he used an older version of Hungarian,
Mm.
like not old Hungarian, more like in middle.
So it's kind of like for
So
ours, if you're familiar with the King James version, it's like Old
um,
English. Like it, you can
yes,
still
but
understand it, but
kinda,
it's
but not that much difference.
okay.
It's like quarter that much.
Okay.
Uh, there's one made by the Catholics. Uh, I've heard that they just took the Karoli translation and changed words.
Hmm.
I don't know if that's true or not. I've just heard it.
Right.
And our church, the Faith Church, is currently working on a new translation, and they
So
translate it
cool.
from Hebrew and Greek,
So it'll be, is this the first direct translation from Hebrew and Greek that Hungarians will have?
pretty much.
Wow. Isn't it so sad that it's taken this long to be able to have one directly translated?
Mm, Catholics,
Hmm.
huge impact of Catholicism was present here for 2000 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know which German version was it. And they, the Catholics really don't and didn't like those who weren't or aren't Catholics. So
Right.
you're not Catholic, how can you claim to be Christian?
Wow.
Like my grandma's cousin was so annoyed and angry, like, how dare you to be the part of Faith Church? Even you were baptized.
Mm.
And is she talking seriously? I
Oh,
was an infant when I was baptized by the
right.
Catholic Church.
Yeah.
I don't remember any of that.
You didn't make the choice. That's so interesting. I feel like it's kind of the opposite here, where Catholics um, just see themselves as Christian versus them thinking like, no, you need to be Catholic. They're like, oh, as long as you believe, it's fine.
Uh, they think that uh, actions will give us
Yeah,
salvation, not our faith.
yeah.
So I see my godmother, I have godparents. Is that the term? I think it is. Uh, so I see my godmother attend Catholic Church so much, like all kinds of ceremonies, rituals. She buys these all uh, Catholic objects. I don't even know how to properly describe it, not even in
Hmm.
Hungarian because I don't have the knowledge for that, because I just don't care.
Right.
Uh, uh, these praying necklaces and crucifixes and bunch of stuff like that. And she just gives all away. And I mean hundreds of thousands worth of Hungarian forints, uh, which is like, let me do a quick search. So one American dollar is 364 forints. So we can safely say that she buys like buys these stuff for like $500
Wow.
and just give it away, gives
Wow.
it away. Yes, prayer beads.
That's so sad though because we can't put our faith in those things.
Uh, um, they believe that these objects are going to have, but it is written in, I think it's the 115th Psalm. Let me check it. If I could find it, why can I not find it? Uh, yes. How does uh, chapter verse work with quoting more verses.
I guess we have to put them in and figure out.
Uh, like this? No. Like this? Doesn't even pick up.
Hmm. There
There
you
it is.
go.
So their idols are silver and gold, the work of human hands. They have mouths, but do not speak, eyes, but do not see. They have ears, but do not hear, noses, but do not smell. They have hands, but do not feel, feet, but do not walk, and they do not make a sound in their throat. Those who make them become like them, so do all who trust in them.
Mm-hmm.
And we can safely say that Catholics have hundreds of so-called saints who they are praying to. Also, Virgin Mary. I've heard that some of them pray to Joseph,
Wow.
Mary's husband, but in a physical form, like statues or uh, images, pictures,
Right. Yeah.
basically praying to idols.
Right. I
And
I've heard that too.
every elderly I know, including my great grandma and my grandma, they are Catholics, like faithful
Mm.
Catholics. And what I see in all of them is that they barely can walk.
Mm.
Their eyesight is getting worse and worse. Their hearing gets worse and worse. This part of Psalms becomes true in their lives.
Mm-hmm.
Like they trust idols, physical objects,
Right.
and they do become like those objects.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I think that's one thing too, um, that a lot of people don't know about Catholics as much. And I do know some Catholics who don't use idols or prayer beads or anything like that. But I would say a majority of them do. And it's just so sad because, you know, if we can't put our trust in an object, right? Like it needs to be put directly to God. And then also it makes me sad because when they pray to Mary or they're praying to the saints, they could be praying directly to God. You know what I mean? And like that's so much more powerful to be able to pray directly to God, thanks to Jesus,
Exactly.
than to pray to a human.
Uh, I've heard several times that elderly people pray like Virgin Mary, come save us,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. And in one of the Bud Spencer movies, Terence Hill prayed this that Saint Peter, come and save me, protect me.
Wow.
And no, that's just wrong.
Right. Well, it's so strange. Like, why would you, if you had a choice, right, to pray for safety from someone, why would you choose it from Peter instead of Jesus? I just, you know what I mean? Like, Peter is the one that was like denying Jesus. You know what I mean? Like, can I count on him to save me in my time of need? I don't know. But yeah, that's it's so interesting though that uh, Hungary has so much of a Catholic presence.
And this certain way of thinking that if you're part of another denomination kind of soaked into other denominations, like being do I say it right, evangelic,
Mm-hmm.
uh, Protestants and Baptists, Witnesses of Jehovah. Uh, there's one more that's major here. I don't remember. Anyway, so I've noticed in their way of thinking that they think this way too, that it's the denomination, the church you attend, is what matters, not your faith. Meanwhile, I clearly remember once my pastor said, when he was calling the newcomers to repentance, that hey, you need Jesus in your life. You need your faith in Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if you don't become part of this church, the faith church. You
Mm-hmm.
can go in other churches.
Right.
It's your choice. If you have faith in Jesus Christ,
Mm-hmm.
you are saved. And it kind of it 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 a bit surprised me uh, that I heard this from my pastor, because I've met several uh, members of this church do who too think that it is the church you attend what makes the difference. Uh, not directly your faith. In such terms that the faith church, as I've noticed it, as the truth. I've seen people who truly live by the teachings and the Bible, which are the same, uh, and their life is getting better and better. Their faith is growing. So I can safely say, if someone joins, then he's going to, or she is going to hear the truth.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean that it's only our church that tells the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Like a friend showed me a recording of the way she was baptized, and that church is Pentecostal too, like the one I attend, and it's a different church, has a different name, but the pastor said the truth. So it really doesn't mean that much which denomination you belong to, as long as your faith is in Jesus Christ.
Right. That's what
I
saves.
I attend this church regularly because this is the church I grew up in. These people know me. If I have trouble, they can and will help me. If they have trouble, I will and can help them. So the reason I stick to this church is because this is my family.
Mm.
I mean, by closer. Also, there are a lot of friends there who makes my relationship with God even stronger. So why would I go somewhere else if I know this place is safe for me?
Right. Yeah.
Like they are going to lead me to God even closer than I am right now.
Hmm.
Why would I suddenly change
Right.
uh, to other community?
There's also such a gift in having your roots in some place, right? That like you've been there for so long that people truly know you and you're established there and you understand how things work and you can serve or volunteer or anything like that because you know the needs and you're familiar with it. You look so
Oh,
serious.
Simba is
Oh, yeah.
talking about speaking in tongues. We were talking about this that people who are not part of the faith church, like many of my coworkers, think that this gibberish is just gibberish, and this is just a stupid play of little children.
Oh.
But it's like I've literally heard people saying that we've gone mad. Uh, when I first went to the church's school that was in sixth grade, I just felt that it is coming. The speaking in tongues is just want to break out of my mouth, basically. Uh, so I went to my pastor and asked him to help me get baptized by the Spirit. And sure, but wait for me until I speak with others who also wants to speak with me. I mean, all right, I can wait for that. They need help too, even if that's just a simple question or a serious topic. They are people too. They need the same or similar guidance as I have, as I need. So I was waiting. Uh, mm, I didn't know that I had to wait for that long, and my father was just sitting back in the building and watching me sitting there waiting. He didn't come to ask. He just kinda knew that I am waiting for our pastor, so he didn't bother me.
Hmm.
So my pastor came to me finally. Uh, do you call the leaders elders too?
Yeah.
Like when somebody's in theologically really knows a lot,
Hmm.
like serious, like they have serious uh, studies about theology.
Yeah.
All right, so he called an elder too to help in the spiritual uh, layer of the existence. So this elder was just praying in tongues, and my pastor started praying in Hungarian language that may the Spirit fill me and get the gift of speaking in tongues. And I just started crying and laughing because the Spirit filled me so much, and I just couldn't stop crying. I was sobbing literally. And my pastor just gently and quietly told it, start speaking, start speaking, just start it. Don't force it, just let it flow through you. Just start speaking, and I started speaking in a language that seemed complete gibberish to me, that I didn't know, I didn't memorize or anything, and it just flew. And I'm been practicing ever since. Sometimes you cannot pray with your mind, you just run out of words. Basically, that's one of the situations when I start to pray in tongues, because it's a language my spirit speaks directly to God. And there were several times when it helped me calm down, helped me get filled by the spirit. With healings, it helped me to, as I mentioned, my healing with my voice.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I prayed in my language, Hungarian, and that was like 30 seconds. And a minute more of praying in tongues, because I just felt it, it wants to flow. So I let it flow. So many people told me that this is a language only God understands. Hey, Chovy. So getting these gifts are also a really good way of fighting the Satan, because you get another uh, weapon, basically, another layer of protection, another way of fighting. And what Simba is writing, praying in tongues is perfect prayer. So it's like there's just no mistake, like grammatical errors, or mixing up words like I do a lot of times, even in Hungarian. Uh, Even though we mess up things in praying in our language, uh, the message still gets to the Father. So you do not have to be worried about doing mistakes in your prayers, uh, like using a wrong appendix in
Mm-hmm.
Hungarian,
That would
or
be me.
the wrong past tense of a verb in English. Oh, that's a
Mm.
nightmare. Learning all those words.
Right.
Um, the message still gets to the Father.
Isn't that
Uh,
amazing?
he knows
He does.
what you need.
Yes.
He just wants to hear that you acknowledge that need, and you trust in him, and you
Mm-hmm.
put your burdens and issues on him,
Mm-hmm.
and you truly believe that he can and he will solve it.
Right. And it's so beautiful just to know that it's like it doesn't have to be a perfect prayer and God understands and he sees and he knows. I have that with my high school students a lot. They're like, I'm not good enough at praying. And I'm like, it's not about being good enough. I was like, it's important that you're just taking it to God because he knows what you need and he loves to hear you praying. And so, even if your words aren't perfect, even if you're saying the wrong words sometimes or fumbling, like he knows and he understands, and it's a beautiful thing.
Uh, we have a sort of saying. I don't know if you have an equivalent in English. Practice makes the master.
Ooh, we
Uh,
say practice makes perfect here.
uh, Not practice, exercise. Exercise makes
Oh, okay.
the master. Uh, a gyakorlat teszi a mestert. It's kind of wrong because Jesus said, "Do not call anyone master but me."
Right.
So this saying is kind of wrong, but uh, it tells the meaning that if you do something regularly, you get better at it, no matter
Mhm.
what you do.
Right.
Um, First, when I started praying, okay, prayer, it's been probably 15 minutes, half minute,
I think we've all
and
been there before. I've been
and
praying for so long. Oh, never mind.
and right now I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pray like 5 minutes, and I pray. It's been 30 minutes.
Yeah. It is funny that
So
the closer you grow to God, it feels like you, less time spent with Him. Like you're spending more time with Him, but it feels like it's less.
you enjoy it a lot more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, it also needs to be considered that the devil is constantly trying to attack you, that you are not worthy of the
Mm-hmm.
presence of God.
Right.
Just by existing, you are.
Mm-hmm.
Because Jesus, the Lamb of God, died on the cross for our sins. So uh, and this is the time when I forget the Hungarian words too. So I can't check Google Translate for the English word.
But yeah, we're not looking for our worth within ourselves. It's funny because, like, when the devil tries to use that against me, I'm like, you're right. I'm not worthy. Good thing it's not based on me. It's based on God and what Christ
So
did for me.
uh, the ransom has been paid.
Yeah.
Is it, ransom is the word, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So the ransom has been paid. Váltságdíj, Simba. Váltságdíj. Oh, speaking of váltságdíj, this is another interesting thing that if you use these two letters, T and these two can merge together too, into the ch sound.
This is so weird. Chagdis. Yeah, I can't.
So
I can't do it.
this ransom has been paid when Jesus died on the cross for everyone's sins,
Hmm.
which is crazy to think about. That because 2000 years later I did this and that, someone died, so I don't have to pay this ransom.
Hmm.
And again, I say it one more time, it does not mean that you are free to sin.
You're sounding like Paul here.
Um,
In a good way. In a good way. Yes.
Many people misinterpret this message
Hmm.
that the price of sinning has been paid. So,
Yes.
so people think, oh, if it's been paid, that there are going to be no consequences, so I'm gonna do this and that.
Right.
That's not how it works.
Yeah.
Uh, Jesus called us to get out, get out of from sin.
Right. That's right.
Any questions?
Yeah, I don't have any. This has been amazing. If anyone in chat has anything, go ahead and throw it at us. Yeah, let me give you a permit, Simba, so you can. This has been really cool. I just one, your testimony is amazing. Just I don't know. Like there were times I was just sitting here speechless. Like this is so cool. And then also, you just had like a lot of really cool wisdom and advice for people about like writing down their testimonies, like whether you are have a date to share it or not, things like that, and the forgiveness of the Father that you can always run back to Him, and then also just like kind of learning the difference between the culture around Christianity and religion in Hungary versus America was also really interesting to me. So, this has been so fun. Thank you so much for taking so much time. Is it
um,
like super late for you right now?
9:32,
That's
so
not bad. That's not
not
too
bad.
bad.
Um,
Still, thank you though.
just as you are talking about this, I also want to encourage again you about writing down your testimony,
Mm-hmm.
because there are points where many Christians think that not much have happened in their lives.
Mm-hmm.
So many people uh, forget that being raised in a Christian family in itself a huge blessing.
Mm-hmm.
Not many people can have this opportunity.
Right.
Um, Older people uh, call my generation the second generation Christians in Hungary, because the first generation was, well, 20 years ago, in the 80s, when Sándor Németh, our head pastor, I quote it because our head is Jesus Christ, but he was the first in Hungary who actually started this movement when it was illegal to do so.
Wow.
So there were still, the Soviet Union was still here, and communism really didn't like these sorts of gatherings, so they did these gatherings in basements, hidden from other
Wow.
people. Um, so the people who have similar age as he does are called the first generation, basically, and their children are the second generation. And yes, we were an underground church.
That is so crazy.
uh, Partly, I do not consider myself a second generation Christian because, as I mentioned, I was 6 when my parents
Mm-hmm.
accepted Jesus Christ, even though they were Catholics, but they were
Mm-hmm.
not faithful Catholics, so they didn't attend uh, Catholic sermons, ceremonies, rituals,
Mm-hmm.
but the baptisms, including myself and the two elder siblings I have from the five. uh, so when people say that second generation Christians, I don't really feel that that message is for me
Hmm.
because I wasn't born into Christianity. I had to work
Right.
for my own faith. I had to get my own faith instead of uh, having a head start, basically,
Mm-hmm.
which also can deceive many people. I've seen many of my work, not work, classmates thinking that, oh, my parents are Christians, I'm saved, so they do whatever they want.
Mm-hmm.
So it can be a blessing, but as Ben, Uncle Ben told, said so, with huge power,
I love
you have a
that
huge
that came
responsibility.
into this testimony. I was like, you said Uncle Ben, and I was like, there's no way he's going there. There's no way. And then it was that. Like, that was
So,
golden. I love that.
um, I've seen many of their lives fall into pieces,
Mhm.
and they do worse things than people who don't even know Jesus Christ
Right.
as their uh, friend, as their savior, personal friend and savior. So, back to what I wanted to say is that writing down your testimony will help you uh, collect all your thoughts, what happened in your life during your, igen, a második generációsokról beszélek, during your Christian path, as you write them down, the spirit will remind you what else have happened to you.
Mm-hmm.
As I was started writing my notes, I could have said like half of them or even less if I didn't write down any notes. So writing them down really helps you collect all the wonders and amazing things that have happened in your life. And I thought maybe I had something this many and I almost filled a page. And those are just the notes, few words to remind myself that that word means this much. Um, for example, I have a friend in the local church. She was born with a weird condition. What I've heard that is she didn't get enough oxygen after her birth,
Aw.
so her motoric skills were way off. Like she was around 8 or 9, and she barely could crawl.
Wow.
She didn't even try to walk because she couldn't. And now she do not let anyone help her, even walking. It's still visible that she kind of struggles, but she walks wherever she wants. She takes the stairs. She just doesn't care because she knows uh, the power who she trusts. The power of the one who she trusts is a lot bigger than the power of this world.
Mhm. That is awesome.
When I first met her, I couldn't understand anything she said. Now she speaks totally clear, like
Wow.
pronounces every word perfectly. And hey, he had that much healing. what have I got? Many of times I was thinking like that, and this note, this testimony really helped me realize that this wasn't just this much, it was this much that happened
Right.
to me.
Yeah.
And as I see my current situations, even more is coming.
Hmm.
So again, I really encourage people, all of you, to write down, take notes about your testimony, even though if you have no set date or time when you are going to share it. It is going to help you realize how much God has been working in your life.
So awesome. That's good. Some good encouragement, really. This has been so cool. It was so funny cuz going into this testimony today, I was like this is really interesting cuz I've known Emo for a while now and we've had so many awesome conversations and I'm like, but I've never talked to him
9 months.
on a video. Yeah,
That's a
9 months, almost a
that's a
year.
pregnancy.
Yeah, there you go. A whole friendship life has been born at this point. And I'd
Yes.
never been on a video call with you before, so I was like, this is gonna be really interesting because it's like I've known you really well, but it's always been through texting. And so and this has just been so beyond awesome. I feel like so
Um,
fruitful.
Let me have a little Hungarian only section because Simba needs some help. Simba, azért mondom, hogy írd le a bizonságodat, mert így össze tudod szedni a gondolataidat, hogy egyrészt az, hogy mik történtek veled, közben a szellem is fog segíteni neked emlékezni arra, hogy mik történtek veled. És rá fogsz jönni, hogy nem csak ennyi történt veled, hanem ennyi. És ez nagyba meg fogja dobni a hitedet. I saw you there, Zelda.
Yeah, that was my mind blown.
Ö, tehát egyrészt az, hogy fogod látni, hogy mi mindent tett már Isten a te életedben. Emellett valószínű, hogy segíteni is fog ez a jegyzetelés abban, hogy megértsd dolgokat. Tehát volt pont tegnap meg ma eszméltem rá dolgokra, hogy mi minden miért történt, hogyan történt. Miközben írtam le a jegyzetemet és gondolkodtam rajta. I hope that helps.
I'm me just sitting here like, what just happened? What's going on? Oh, well, I wish I could keep this going, but I do have to pull some stuff together for the possible wedding photo shoot I have tomorrow. But this has been so incredible. Thank you so much for taking the time to like be here and have the openness to share your testimony.
It was a blessing for me, definitely, as I could realize more stuff than if I wouldn't take notes. As I mentioned in the beginning, I realized several things that things have happened, why those things have happened. Like I mentioned the two relationships, I believe that God led me into those relationships specifically to teach me that the heart is deceitful.
Mm-hmm.
So this very thing I realized today, like 15 minutes before the stream. So I say that it's 3 hours well spent. I could go for more because I enjoy talking about these kind of topics because
Yeah,
these are amazing topics to talk about.
right.
And I really hope that I have helped, even if one viewer uh, got anything from this testimony, that this time was definitely well spent.
It was super encouraging for me. So
Simba
you're
wants
just free.
Simba wants me to test your Hungarian knowledge.
My Hungarian knowledge. I don't think I have any.
At least now you know not to say Budapest.
Yeah.
Hey,
What is it? Is it Budapest?
I found
Budapest?
my spoon.
Oh my goodness! Oh, it's still in there! Okay, GY? Oh, didn't you mention this earlier?
that
Um,
that is all cocoa powder. It,
oh,
it
just the
kind of
straight cocoa
sings now.
powder. Okay, GY. I can't remember. Isn't that the sound that isn't in English? Like the
One
sound?
of the sounds, yes.
I can't remember.
Yeah,
Something like that. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Try to merge the and y.
Yeah.
The,
Yeah.
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 Uh,
Yeah.
you pronounce the T with the tip of your tongue and the y way back in your mouth. And as you merge these two sounds together, uh, the middle part of your tongue will touch the top of your mouth, and that's how this y sound is made.
I
Yeah.
can't do that. How do I do like three things?
Practice makes perfect.
I can't do. It doesn't work. It's so hard. That sound literally does not exist to me. Like I've never heard that in
Um,
my life. It's an F for me. That's okay. I'll take it.
uh,
Oh
like
wow.
I mentioned the guy whom I taught how to say his own name. He could get the sound pretty well after I showed him, and he was trying it. Yeah, yeah, that's a so weird sound to make as an American. And on his face, I saw that he feels sick from making this sound because it's so not usual for them or for you. Um,
That's so funny.
but as I said, I've had to learn a few new sounds um, when I was, and I'm still learning English. The vowels are different. Like you don't have a specific a or specific a sound. You have one in the middle a, like in up.
Mm-hmm.
And if I would speak with a strong Hungarian accent, that would be up, which is two different vowels basically. And now I feel the urge to speak with that strong Hungarian accent, but both Simba and I would cringe on that.
This has been amazing. I kind of feel like sometime we need to do a stream where it's me, you, and Simba, and you both try to teach me Hungarian, and I can try and come up with something hard to say in English and test you guys on it.
That's good to mention. I wanted to teach you this word. Now, those three consonants in the middle, S, Z, and S, that could throw you off a lot. Uh, this word is built up from the word egész, means whole, like one unit. Uh, you put the ságség appendix next to it. That's egészség. Uh, Directly translated this word, it means wholeness. But it actually means health. So we produce the word health from being a whole, like your immune system works at a whole level, not just a part. And then it is your health. And directly translating this word is onto your health or for your health. This means bless you if someone sneezes,
Oh,
or cheers when someone drinks.
right. Okay.
Nem ismerem. The part that throws people off is that SZS. The reason why I started to show you how this word is built up because egész is the main part of the word, but the ség is changing the meaning of the word.
Okay.
So does the sh sound changes the s sound. So if you talk a bit fast, then you won't say egészség. As I said, the S will change the S and it's gonna be egészség. It's a way of making pronunciation easier. You won't see it anywhere written down unless it's written in phonetically.
That's so interesting.
So the whole word is egészségedre.
Can you say it again?
Egészségedre.
Egészségedre.
Try, try
Eh,
like
egg,
in elevator. How do
egg,
you say elevator?
egre, elevator. Eh,
That first vowel, eh.
eh,
Then the A is like the vowel intake. A.
egge, 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 egge.
Egészségedre. Egészségedre.
Why is this so hard? I can't even get the first part. Egges, 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 egges.
Or as Mama Cat tried to say it, egészségedre.
That's me too. Egges. What's the last part again?
Egészségedre.
Shegadra.
We will understand it.
Eggeshedagra.
Now you're talking like my deaf aunt.
Oh, but like people could maybe understand what I'm trying to say, right?
Mainly yes.
Mainly, okay. They get the basic
Egészségedre.
idea. Yeah, this does make Greek feel easier. Yeah, to your help.
That actually
Jim.
helps, Jim. More like eggies, she get
Eggies,
bread.
she.
More like her. Air.
Eggies, she get her hair. Iggy she get
So
hair. Iggy she get hair.
is there a way of saying re?
I don't even know how to make that sound. Re?
Oh, yes, the re sound.
Re? Re?
English has a r sound.
Re.
Hungarian has a r sound, and Russians.
Yeah.
The Russian language has an even stronger r sound,
Yeah, I can't roll
like
my R's.
drill, drill.
Oh, this is so fun though. Yeah, we'll have to do like a whole stream just Hungarian.
One question from Simba, and after his response, I will let you go.
Sounds good.
Simba, megpróbáltassam vele a leghosszabb szót?
By the way, guys, if you're not following Emo on Twitch, what? No.
Emote.
There you go. Not emotes.
Okay,
I don't know who that is.
Simba says we should try this, so
Yay, Fluffy.
this is an existing word in Hungarian. It's an overproduced word.
Okay.
It is grammatically correct. It has a meaning, but it doesn't have a use. It just made to flex how Hungarian works. Just basically stress testing the language. Try to pronounce that.
Okay. Mikelka Pasteslani Zaten Tulenza Gosko Dasetokert.
Most people would get it because
Wait, what? Did I not? What do you mean most people would get it? Did I?
look, Simba says he understood it.
Oh, okay.
It's meg kell káposztástalaníthatatlanságoskodásaitokért.
What in the world? Okay, wait. So you're saying people would understand what I was trying to say?
They would figure it out, yes.
Okay. I thought you were saying that most people would get it, as in like I didn't say it right, but most people would, and I was like, no way.
Most of the vowels you've got right. The consonants
Okay.
were in the right place, and there is no similar sounding word. But I think you would have a little bit of trouble with these two words.
Oh no, that has the GY in it. I already know I can't say that.
So the first is egyelőre. It means
Egyelőre.
it means that to make it equal. So like when a football match ends up with a, is it a draw when they score the same amount?
Mhm.
So that thing.
Okay.
They did a draw. Egyelőre végződött a meccs. The match ended equally. The other is egyenlőre, means that temporarily. Now that is a word that I struggle with.
Egyelőre.
You sound like French.
Oh, I did take French in high school. So,
So
oh,
you're familiar with the je and the sound.
uh, je, je, uh.
Je m'appelle.
Yeah. Great, you could probably speak French better than me too.
I don't know any more words. I could say that I know a few things, but those are uh, playing with words, the way of pronunciation of words, and Simba would get it instantly that I'm talking Hungarian with a bit with a bit weird accent, but sounds like French.
That's so interesting. I don't know. This is so cool. We should have like everybody that speaks a different language. So like Kim speaks German, so we could have like Kim in here for German, you guys in here for Hungarian, and me in here for English, and then like all try to make each other say
We should
difficult phrases.
find an African who has those weird.
That would be really
Uh,
cool.
how I don't even get all of those.
I can't make any of these sounds. I don't remember that episode, Jim. That sounds amazing, though. That sounds so funny. Okay, well, I don't want to end this, but good
Okay,
luck with
fine.
that stream. I know. Oh, this has been the best, though. Thank you so much, Emo, for
Thank
coming
you so much
on.
for the opportunity,
Yeah, this has
and
been so
thank you
cool.
everyone who was sitting and waiting and bearing this torture I made with butchering this language called English.
No, you're so good. You're so good at English.
I still think that my accent sounds like licking drywall.
No, it literally does not. Like if you ask anyone in the
Synesthesia.
US, they would
Oh,
say, "You didn't even talk about that." How
you
do I say
wanted
it?
to you wanted to hear it.
Yeah.
Synesthesia.
Synesthesia?
Yes.
Synesthesia.
Yes.
Now I'll remember it until the next time it comes up. I won't know how to say it again.
Synesthesia.
Synesthesia. Wow, it's so much easier when it's not in writing. I don't know why. But no, the accent is awesome. If you asked anybody in the US about your accent, they would all say that it was amazing.
And that's how you write it down in Hungarian. Synesthesia.
Synesthesia.
One of the symptoms, yes, hearing colors. But
But you
I
also
have way too many kinds
it's
of
also but it's
synesthesia.
like here it's sight, sound, and taste, isn't it? But like can't you also get like
Yes.
sensations like some people like feel things too?
Uh,
Or is that something else?
by feeling, if you feel like uh, if you feel like that a person is like he's for sure a wooden bucket, then that could be, or that girl feels like red and the other one feels like purple. That
Mm-hmm.
yes, that can be. Uh, one of the kinds of synesthesia that is pretty close to this that I also have is called aura vision.
Mm-hmm.
It's like seeing a kind of colorful blob around the person's body. Not exactly seeing that, but it's like he looks like purple or he looks like yellow, even though he's in gray clothes. If you get what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so cool. It was something that like I had heard about before And I'd even looked into a little bit, and then I met you and learned a lot more about it. I was like, this is so interesting.
Jim, not even doctors know for sure. It can be caused weird wiring in the brain, like the centrals being connected weirdly with neural paths. Also, I've noticed, and I've been praying about that. I mentioned my time when I had that insane exhaustion, both physically
Mhm.
and mentally, when I was in construction and developer of a Minecraft server. I realized not too long ago that my synesthesia got way out of hand since
Mhm.
then. So there can be this synesthesia can be caused by damage like physical or mm, overworking, or the one I really hope and I ask God that it shall not be tumor or cancer. Illegal substances, I do not use those, so that's out of question.
We'll just shove that one
Be,
aside.
being tired makes my symptoms even stronger. So there was a week last year when I couldn't sleep too much, like 2 hours daily, maybe three. And by Thursday and Friday, I literally had actual hallucinations, visual hallucinations. Like we were standing behind a red light, and I just looked at the GPS screen and I saw the car in the other lane getting closer and closer. And I looked up and it was stationary, and looked down and it started getting closer and closer again. I mean, it looked like it getting closer. Also, there was a time when I was just leaving the city next to us, coming to this village, and in the on the short road, there's in between, I saw a truck without lights and license plate in front of me. And as soon as I got into this village, that truck disappeared, and it only appeared when I left the other city, which was terrifying. So a lot of times this can be distracting. Uh, for example, I said that Zelda smells like, was it hand moisturizer and rose?
Yeah, something like it was like something super
Uh,
random. Yeah.
those things I can actually feel. Like when I say that this and that person smells and tastes like this and that, I literally can feel those
Mm.
things, which can be pleasant, like in your case. I consider both rose and hand moisturizer a pleasant smell. But there were times when people smelled like feces,
I was gonna say, I'm
and
sure it's not always good things.
there was one time when I opened up a stream. The guy started talking, and he literally smelled like pure ammonia. When I turned off the stream, the smell disappeared, and I wanted to check it if it was a one-time thing. So I reopened the stream. He was silent for a bit, nothing happened. Then he started speaking again, and the ammonia smell hit my nose
Wow.
immediately, so much that it literally made my nose hurt. So it can be really disturbing and distracting. And on the
Mhm.
other hand, it's both good and bad when I smell and or taste foods like schnitzel. My German and Hungarian friends know this dish very well. Színba rántott húsról beszélek. Uh, it's deep fried, breaded, meat, basically. I smelled it. Hmm, somebody's cooking. I leave my room, the smell is gone, and nobody's in the kitchen. I go back, sit down at my computer, uh, continue whatever I was working, and the smell was back. And no, there was no schnitzel in my room. Neither remains. So it can be disturbing in a way that I uh, smell and or taste certain foods I like, and after that I want to eat that specific food. Um, Not long ago on Pastor Dustin's stream, I mentioned that something or somebody smells like Hungarian pancakes, and now I want to eat Hungarian pancakes, even though I haven't had any in more than a week. So
Yeah, that is so crazy to me. Like, it's, I mean, with a lot of things like that, it's like there can be a part of it that is neat because you're very
um,
unique, but then there are the not good parts of it.
however, I noticed it 2 or 3 months ago. Nem hortobágyi húsos palacsinta, csak a sima palacsinta. A hortobágyi is finom. Uh, Simba mentioned Hungarian meat pancakes, a delicious dish, just pure flavor and richness and power, energy, and protein. Uh, so what I've noticed a pattern, and it hasn't fooled me yet. I've noticed that if a person has a good personality, like someone who's worth to be friend with, or the relationship can benefit both the mentioned person and me, then these persons usually have, I say usually because I don't have enough data on this yet, they have a good scent or taste, flavor. And it works the other way too. So if a person has a good smell or taste, I can be confident that being friends with that person is going to be beneficial in both directions. Same goes with the bad smells and tastes. Those people are not always a good idea to have around. Like they are being really toxic or just don't treat people really well.
Have you ever heard of it's a series by a guy named Steve McCraney. It's called Space Boy. And in it it kind of popularized now I can't say it again. Synesthesia.
Um,
Is that how you say it? Probably saying it
you
wrong
say
again.
popularize, but actually, a lot of people have at least one symptom, but
Really?
they just don't know it's not synesthesia. The most common one is when you see letters and numbers as colored, like the A is red and the T is blue and the U is green, stuff like that.
Oh.
That is synesthesia
Yeah.
too. That is probably a learned synesthesia from
Right.
those fridge magnets.
Yeah. And alphabet blocks are always colored like that. That's so interesting.
Um, I was talking with my siblings and my parents the other day. There's probably a genetic part of it too, because my middle sister was talking about being certain musics being a specific color, or my little brother mentioned that gyros, the food, tastes like pink, and I was like, yes, it does.
That is so
And
interesting.
um, that was a moment I realized that it is a lot more common
Mm-hmm.
than people know about it. And there are two major kinds. There are two major kinds of synesthesia. One is associative, and the other is projective. The associative is when you uh, associate the two things like this music is yellow, or as my elder brother said, the taste of the coffee is thick, like physically thick,
Mm-hmm.
not thin but thick.
Mm-hmm. That is
And
so
how can
interesting.
you measure the width of a taste?
Right.
So many people would think, and I look at him, and you're right.
It is. It is.
Coffee taste is thick.
I feel like milk would also be semi thick, wouldn't it?
uh,
Maybe not. Tea would. I feel like tea would be like thin. But is that just me thinking in like the term of like
um,
the texture instead of, you know what I mean? Like,
that's probable. Tea for me is a big green valley amongst three hills or mountains. The taste of the tea, just to say it.
that is so interesting.
So I could talk about it a lot too. Uh, so this is the associative part, when you just associate things to senses. Um, in 2019, I was talking with a few of my group mates at another university I attended to, that, hey, your voice sounds like a wooden bucket, and yours sounds like a bag of cold chocolate pudding. How do you say that? And yours sounds like layers of copper plates. And they were like, what? Uh, this is associative too, but with my smell and taste, when I actually feel those things, those are projective, as it projects into that sense.
Hmm.
I hope it makes sense.
It does, yeah. That's so interesting to me. I feel like we should have like a whole segment where we bring you on and just have you
We
like
could.
label everything for us. Like, what does this taste like? What does this smell like? What does this, you know what I
uh,
mean?
it's not always working.
Yeah,
Like, I cannot make it happen on command.
right.
It just happens.
Mm-hmm. That's so
With
interesting.
music, because I have sound image associative synesthesia for so long. I was in sixth grade. I was 10, I think. No, 12. I was 12 when I first noticed that I have this. That üres tészta, szósz nélküli tészta. Simba just asked if what is my voice.
Oh.
I said plain pasta, like spaghetti without any sauce.
Oh.
Plus add the licking drywall part with
No.
my accent. So I've noticed that for classical music, my brain connected the red, yellow, orange, and the in between colors to that kind of genre. Same with the folk music, but different shapes plus green color. By shapes, I mean classical music is patches of certain colors. Uh, Folk music has waves and circles and stuff like that. Uh, Rock music is light, and metal music is dark brown. Rap is dark, like almost black, dark gray, and most electronic genres are blue. Um, a friend said that that kind of makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, since then, I could tell that different songs have different shapes and colors, and how those colors follow each other, stuff like that. And one specific that I haven't found any other example of is that Skillet has the song called Famous.
Mm-hmm.
That specific song is pink. And my
That's so
brother, yes,
strange.
that is pink. And he said too that that is the only song that is pink. He didn't find any other songs that would be pink. And I said, yeah, me neither.
That's so
Uh,
strange.
so uh, this was also weird to notice that he his synesthesia, my middle sister's synesthesia, my little brother's synesthesia have the same associations as mine. And even my father could um what's the word? Support or
Mm-hmm.
confirm this thing. And my mother was sitting there crocheting, and what are you guys talking about? I have nothing like this.
That's so interesting. So
Probably,
and
probably it can be connected to genetics. I
yeah,
need to talk with my elder sister and my little sister too when
yeah,
she gets older, if they have it too.
yeah. Because it sounds like it's running down through your dad, which is so crazy.
I remember it vividly that we were working together. Uh, there were only two of us there, and we just turned on the classical radio because why not? And uh, he said that okay, the guy is now in the forest. He just noticed the wooden house. He went in, and hey, that's what I'm seeing too. Like these were just orchestral instruments playing,
Uh huh.
and we saw the exact same story.
That's so interesting.
So this is again a proof of how God, how great is God that He could make such a complicated system as our
Right.
brain.
Yeah. It really is incredible. And just like, the more I learn about, I mean, we talked about this when Fluffy shared his testimony about how, like, you know, even just like one tiny part of your brain makes such a huge difference that every single part of you has been so intricately designed.
Yes.
It's awesome. I hate to pull this to a stop, but I have to go and get ready for photography tomorrow.
And we are over 1.5 hours
I know.
more.
I
You
think this is the
stream
longest
time.
one yet. But thank you so much, Emo, for coming on and for sharing this. I really do appreciate it. It's been so fun.
I thank you for the opportunity again.
All right. You know what it's time for? The intro outro. The moment everyone's been waiting for.
Nobody redeemed the sunglasses, and I specifically prepared my
What?
sunglasses.
You literally had sunglasses there for that? That is amazing. I am so sad that nobody redeemed that. That would have been
And look, 3
perfect.
people are going to redeem it.
That is
Happy.
amazing. I can't believe you thought about that. You know what? The days that I miss streaming, I should just throw it to you to
See, I
stream on
told
my
you.
channel. Oh, yeah, there we go. I gotta get mine too. There we go. See, this guy is so much more prepared for my streams than I am that like you should just sub for me when I can't stream. You'll have
And
the sunglasses and everything.
no one redeemed it, but I kept hydrating. This was full in the beginning of the stream.
Hey, that was
You
probably
can
so good.
kinda see the mark.
Yeah, I want chocolate milk. Oh, anyway, uh, thank you so much for
Now
coming on, and
it gets foggy because I sweat too much.
I just can't see through these because the lenses are too dark. But I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna close out the call, and I'm gonna play the intro outro that everyone has been waiting for since before I even started stream today. But Emo, thank you so much. Do you have any closing
Thank you.
words?
Thank you for the opportunity again, and guys, write down your testimonies.
Do it. It's really good advice. All right. Hey, Emo, I will see you later, okay? Thank you so much for
See you
coming on
soon.
here. Wait, how do I hang up
Glad
Discord
to be
while it's
here.
still in there we go. Bye.
Hi.
Okay, guys. Here you go. It's the moment you've all waited for. I love you all. God bless you all. And I'll see you in the next one.